What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Let's Talk. I got a special guest with me, Blandrew. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. So, y'all know how these Let's Talks go. Simply just play something or a number of things, depending on how bad I'm getting beat, and we just talk gaming and otherwise. So, I take it you caught the Mario trailer.
I watched it a couple times actually. It looks really good.
So, I enjoyed that myself, specifically because what Bowser did to those penguins. I thought that was hilarious, uh, and the fact that they had the king penguin looking like Biggie on the cover on that poster.
Oh, with the crown and yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, somebody's a hip hop fan,
I'm
but
surprised they didn't use the bigger one though instead of just a regular normal size
yeah, I noticed
penguin.
that. I noticed that. That was actually pretty funny. It just went with the whole aesthetic of being ridiculously funny for no apparent reason,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess. But I wanted to ask you. So since we already have like, um, let's say, because we already got like episode one of a Star Fox anime that they never went back and did a whole series for. What you think they
That,
should do next?
well, that was interesting because I saw that I think it was either GameSpot or IGN
Hmm.
put out a article talking about that. And I think Star Fox actually makes the most sense to go into for a movie or a TV series. They got a lot of lore and story to go with that series.
Yeah, and plus, like, since it is kind of one of those series that I guess the right word would be niche.
No, I wouldn't say it's niche. It's just that they've struggled to take it further than 64.
Yeah, which, yeah, I guess you could say that. So would because like I think probably would be better off to do an anime series, even though you could get away with doing a movie. I do think anime series probably would be a little bit better just because um, you have more time to flesh out characters, do character development, all the other good stuff.
Yeah. I don't know
So
if you saw it, but there was like a leak that came out a couple years back where it was like a what do you call it? Like a stop motion Star Fox where they were
yeah,
using puppets and stuff.
yeah, I saw that one because that was that in the Legend of Zelda uh CG thing was at Netflix and it got
Yeah. And
and the
then it
dude
got
leaked it.
leaked or something, and I know Nintendo's pretty serious about
Yeah.
stuff like that, so they canceled it from what I was told.
Yo, yeah, yeah. They canceled it pretty much immediately because I understand like you can't have that stuff and Netflix should have known, but you can't have that stuff leak. Like you and I've never understood why people get so. I can understand getting happy, but like, dude, if you want it to succeed, you kind of need to keep your mouth shut.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like if you,
But I never even liked that. Like even when E3 and Nintendo Directs would come around and we would start seeing, little leak gameplay and like we knew about this Fire Emblem Engage game weeks
yeah,
and months before the game actually came out. We had the leak of the character design. I was like, okay, that's cool, but that would have been nice to see on my own, during the whole entire showcase.
yeah. I'm kind of torn on that because as a fan, I'm like I don't mind seeing it, but then you're like, yeah, but you kind of miss the whole, you know, uh, whole fun of saying, hey, this came out or we saw this live. You
Yeah.
don't, and I get that people get happy, but you're like, dude, you can't be that happy to where you're saying, hey, I'm gonna spoil this because I want my fans to know, or I want to get the actual drop on everybody and saying that my stuff came out first. Like,
Yeah,
dude, come
everybody
on,
wants to be
guys.
the credible leaker. I remember that when Mario Rabbids first was announced. Like that was one of the first Switch games we heard about, and nobody really believed it, but more and more insiders kept talking about that game. And then it
Yeah,
eventually happened to be true. But that was a really exciting moment where they brought Miyamoto on stage to the Ubisoft stage, and he had the little Mario blaster, and they showcased that.
yeah. It and I don't because once again, like Ubisoft is like to me hit or miss, but the Rabbids one, it wasn't bad, but I know we live in like a social media age, so it's kind of one of them situations where you have to like it's gonna come out. Somebody's gonna leak something. It's just inevitable. I hate that it's inevitable, but somebody's gonna leak something. I just wish it was one of them situations where it's not as prevalent and people don't get clout off of it because it really kind of kills the whole thing for everybody. As far as like E3 and stuff like that, I think like the thing with E3 is like that's where like that's where that stuff to me is supposed to take place, kind of like
As far
you
as leaking?
no, as far as like stuff getting brought to the forefront. So if something leaks like the day it actually gets released anyway, I mean gets presented anyway, I don't know how that doesn't really like affect me unless it's something I, unless it's something kind of
I
like
know what you mean, but me personally, I stay off the internet when E3 is coming around until the showcase is actually done.
oh well you're smart.
Yeah, it's rough, but I have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because if you don't, it's really hard to do that. It's very very hard to like stay off of everything because if you go just for instance, if you go to Facebook just because you know you're trying to find something out about something from like high school or something, you got like a high school reunion and you see it, you're like, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
So I do understand that. I just never let it like really bother me all that much because I just been made that that uh understanding that this is probably a part of life now as far as like the internet is concerned and as far as like what we have to deal with in the social media age. So that being said, if if you're doing Star Fox, how would you go about doing it? Would you go movie off the rip or what?
I think I would go movie off the rip. Like I, I don't think there's enough content there currently to have an entire series based off of it. Like
Mhm.
something like Mario or Pikmin, you could do an entire series off that, and they're just doing like little goofy stunts or whatever, like a Tom and Jerry episode. But Star Fox has a beginning, middle, and end that I think would work really well for a movie.
Okay. Okay. So what we talking? Hour and a half? Hour and 45?
Yeah, 2 hours max.
Okay. That actually makes sense. That actually makes sense. Okay. So what about? Let's just say. All right. I'm gonna throw a couple of them at you. All right. I'm just gonna throw a couple of si- uh um franchises at you. All right. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. So first off, Fire Emblem. How do you do it?
I would say an anime series.
Would you go full on? So if you go anime, are you going? Who would you get to? What studio would you try to work with? Would you try to work with Mappa or Trigger or what?
Oh, I'm so far out of the anime loop nowadays. I stopped watching like a lot. I don't really watch a lot of modern day anime. I'm kind of stuck in the early 2000s and below that. So I honestly
Gotcha. So
couldn't tell you the
production
anime
IG.
studios currently. I just don't like that CG art style that they're doing in the animes now. So I would definitely avoid that with Fire Emblem.
Okay. So you would avoid the actual look of the game and go with something like a little more traditional, right?
Actually, now that you mention that, it probably would make sense for Fire Emblem to have that CG art style.
Because that's what everybody's used to.
Yeah, like that's what the cutscenes basically are.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we got that one. All right. So what about Metroid?
Hold on, what would you like to see from Fire Emblem?
Fire Emblem, I would probably go movie off the rip, just because it that one you could do either or, but I would probably go movie as an introductory to it, just because I think that would probably work a little bit better. I'd probably get a studio like either Foldable that does Demon Slayer, or I'd probably just stick with whoever does the cutscenes for the anime. I think it's for the games. I think it's Production IG, if I'm not mistaken. I
Well,
could be mistaken.
Nintendo opened up their own picture studio. Think they called it like Nintendo Pictures or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I believe they're anime focused as well.
Well, to me, that makes the most sense than trying to do everything live action. Because let's be real, I'm kind of. If you saw the me and my friends at work were talking about this today. If you saw the picture of the Netflix Yu Yu Hakusho live action, you're like, please don't do this.
No, I've been kind of avoiding all those live action anime series.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, please don't do this. Like, please don't.
Yeah, and Yu Yu Hakusho is like my number one favorite. So I'm not watching that.
Yeah, I mean, because it doesn't translate, and then they're trying to do like One Piece as well, and I'm like, One Piece really ain't gonna translate. It's
Well, yeah,
just
because the designs are. I mean, I think Yu Yu Hakusho could work. I just don't expect them to do it right. But One Piece, the character designs are so
yeah,
out there that it just wouldn't translate well.
yeah, it just wouldn't. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this with them. So I'm glad that Nintendo has their own picture studio because when you think about it, it's a good idea to just have it let it be animated. Now, me personally, like I said, I would probably go like a movie for like Fire Emblem or something. But like, what would you do for, say, a Kid Icarus or a Metroid?
Kid Icarus is a TV series.
Okay, kind of set it up like they did Uprising, like 26. What was Uprising? 25 chapters.
Yeah, but
It was like 25
Uprising
chapters.
had like little shorts. See, Kid Icarus, I don't know because Uprising was like really good, but I don't know if Kid Icarus warrants getting anything too major of a series in any form, really.
Well, I mean, like the way they did Uprising, I think works. You could probably pull off like one season just to test the waters a little bit. Because I think with how they did Uprising, I think it could work from that standpoint. Like make it make some of the characters break the fourth wall. Like Hades breaking the fourth wall was hilarious.
Yeah. And they
Hades,
actually had like little anime shorts for Kid Icarus for
yeah,
the promotional period of it.
yeah. Because I think Shaft did the hilarious one, the one about Palutena cooking. Um, Production IG did that CG one, and Studio 4C did the Medusa one. I would probably go with the Studio 4C stuff because it has that hand drawn style to it, and plus Studio 4C stuff is actually kind of clean. Like, so I think that actually works a little bit better than some of the other kind of anime that be out there where they do way too much.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that would be my take on that. So what about Metroid?
I would probably give that one a proper movie. And then follow like based on the success of that, I would probably give it a TV series.
Okay,
Actually, I think I would go for a Netflix series with that one.
yeah, because I was because we you know that everybody should know this by now, but yeah, Metroid pretty much got started because of an idea from when they went to go watch Aliens. So I'm like, I would probably keep that for the first movie. Probably keep that in mind, like not go full on space horror or whatever, but just do a movie probably about hour and a half, hour 45, and keep that bottle feel to it.
Yeah.
And because look, we all know how the movie's gonna end. She's gonna blow whatever she's on up.
And then go flying off into the
Yeah,
distance. Okay,
we
so let me ask, would that be live action?
you could get away with live action, but that's gonna be too expensive. That's just gonna be too expensive. I don't know how you do that and let that not be that. That's gonna be expensive.
I think that would kind of bring like a little bit of charm to it though. Like to have like a little RoboCop looking Samus up there in space and
I could see that working for a little bit, but I don't know how that will. Because the thing is, I like the suit, especially the one in Dread. I like the one in Dread more.
oh yeah, that's my favorite one.
Yeah, I don't care for like. I done got to the point now where I'm like, do I really like the original suit? No, not really. I actually like the Dread suit better. I just like the Dread suit better. So I would personally like them doing the Dread suit from now on and just going that route. But I would probably animate it just because I know you. If you do live action, you're still gonna have to do CG because there's no way to do that practically.
Yeah, you're gonna have the
Everything.
aliens and Ridley
Yeah,
and all that. Yeah,
and Ridley and Kraid are going to have to be huge if you decide to have both of them in it. That's
yeah,
if you decide to have both of them in it. You don't have to have both of them in it. You really don't, but it's one of those situations where look, it's it's those two gigantic creatures, and you got to do it that way. Now, personally, I would probably go. I'll probably go series first, just to like get the because the original story, like with her getting like skewered when they train her and all that stuff. That should probably be a series.
okay, I see what you mean. Instead of just jumping into the bounty
Yeah,
hunter aspect, you want to build her up and then get to that point.
yeah, because like that's the one of the things like, and I don't think like too many people actually know that about Samus. Like she really has a jacked up, story. It's really jacked up. They did a manga for it back in like 2001, so you can probably use the manga to actually do the anime. So
Yeah.
use that as the blueprint to do the anime. So I would probably go with that, go that route if it's me. So I'm just one of the. I'm just looking at it from that perspective. Uh, Now, as far as like doing a movie, you can do the movies probably later because then you can just do the movie based off of the games. So you can do a other M movie. You can do a other. You can do Dread. You can do Return of Samus. Uh, Probably do the Prime stuff because the Prime stuff is very well. Some of the stuff in the Prime games you probably have to um adapt a little bit, like change some stuff up. You probably have to do some adapting, like because the problem with a live action Metroid is the same problem that I was telling people was going to happen when they did other M, and people kept saying they wanted full voice acting and all this cinematics. So I'm like, y'all do realize she's by herself, right?
Yeah, she's just gonna be talking to
Yeah,
herself the
I'm
whole
like,
time.
so she's gonna be talking to herself, and you're not gonna like it. And I was right. She talks to herself. People got upset, like this isn't Samus. She's not a badass. She doesn't do this, and this. And I'm like, dude, that's what you guys wanted.
Wait, well, then how would you do a Metroid movie? Because like it would be silent for most of it. If
It would be
I'm just
silent for
thinking
most
about
of
it.
it. What I would do, the only way I can see it working is giving her suit an AI. That's the only way I can see it working.
Okay.
Like you
Because
have,
it's gonna be a lot of time of just like dead silence and walking
yeah,
around eerie environments and just
hmm
maybe monster noises and screams. But
yeah. So you have to like, you have to do something in a way to like set it up where like she can. And the only way I can think about it is just offset her stoic character by giving her a AI that actually has a little bit of personality.
yeah,
Because in all honesty, as much as I love Samus, she pretty much is the Frank Castle of Nintendo. The way she like pretty much performs genocide on the entire planet.
yeah.
I love that about her. Don't get me wrong, because the beings that she does that to, they do deserve it. It's not like the space pirates don't deserve it. They deserve everything they get. But when you start talking about a movie, that's kind of hard to do, you know, because you got people, you gotta do it up for what, hour and 45, hour 30, because like that I'll probably do an hour 30, hour 45 or something like that.
Yeah, I think a TV series works better for that. Give her like a bounty mission or go check out some site every 30, like every episode or something.
Yeah, and have it where it's an overarching story and it leads back to whoever, like the space pirates or Ridley or the the Federation or whatever.
Yeah.
Have
Because
it
like
lead back
you
to
even
that.
made a good point about the AI. Because in Metroid Prime, that's pretty much how the story was told. You had to like scan everything to understand
Hmm.
what was going on in that world. So
Which is why I'm like, I understand why people were a little upset at other M, but I'm like, from a story standpoint, they gave you exactly what everybody was complaining about. I'm like, I'm like, that's the nature of this game. The nature of this game is it's pretty much a bottle film, a bottle type game. So you're stuck in that, you know, in wherever she is. That's where you're stuck at. So
Yeah.
you're stuck for that amount of time, and the way they do the games is basically the you're basically doing whatever mission it is, and that's it. And then you leave. It's not like it's designed to be a 40-hour thing. It's designed to be like, yeah, you can probably get 20 hours out of it, but in her time is probably like what, 2-3 hours.
Yeah, you just got one core mission, do it and then get out.
Yeah. And by get out, they mean we're gonna blow this planet up if you don't get out.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you want to take your time and explore? It ain't that type of game. So, like, you can do that for a little bit, but as soon as we get tired of you being in here, we're just gonna put this timer right here. You know, put this timer, and then you have 2 minutes and 38 seconds to get out.
Those are always the best parts, though.
Yeah, the race against time,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you have to basically,
Remember everything backwards and then get to the
yeah,
top.
you gotta get yourself out of there, and you have to like ignore people. You can't just go balls to the wall crazy.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't do that, dude. You can't kill everybody. You got to let some stuff go. All right, so Legend of Zelda. How do you do it?
I think it could do both. Like any medium that you decide to put Zelda in, I think it would just work. There's a lot of interesting characters that you could pull from that world, so it wouldn't be like Metroid where you have to kind of find ways to like just make it feel like an actual movie instead of just dead silence. I think that could work a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know which story you would pick from though. That's the thing. Unless you just want to start from the very beginning.
Yeah, well, you could do Skyward Sword off the rip, since that's technically the first supposed story in the series. You could start with that one. You could start with Ocarina if you wanted to. Um, I would probably go. You, I think Lord of the Rings is probably the template if you're going to do live action. Um, because I think that actually works best with Zelda. Would be Lord of the Rings style. Um, but if you want to go anime, because Akira Himakawa has done all that manga, because they've done manga for Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Four Swords, Phantom of Hourglass, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons. They're doing there's one more volume left for Twilight Princess, and the Twilight Princess one is really good. Um, so you could do anime. You already have a blueprint for it, as well as if you want to do seasons, that's how you would do it. You could do like a story a season, like one season be Ocarina, one season be Majora's Mask, one season be Twilight Princess, one season be Oracle of Ages, one season be Oracle of Seasons, and go from there. And I think that would actually probably be a better work because you already have that set up. Live action, I can see live action working, but there probably would be a few little caveats, probably like as far as because most of the games Link is like 10,
Yeah.
so I don't know, and like Wind Waker gets dark. I know
Mm-hmm.
people love to pretend like it's not dark. No, that game is dark. That game is very dark. Especially towards the middle where you start finding out what like Ganon was doing the whole time. As to the reason as to why they had to make that decision to flood everything.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations where like, okay, yeah, it looks kiddie, but when you actually start playing the game and start digging into the story, it gets hella dark, hella quick.
So do you think Link would talk in any of this?
Yes, Link can talk.
Like full
Link,
on sentences, having
yes,
conversation with all the people in the towns and Zelda and
yes.
all that?
hmm I understand why people think he's a mute, but he's not.
I'm not saying he's a mute. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, like, do you think from the creative aspect that Nintendo would do that, or would they just have him
yes,
be?
yeah, because like because in the games you're supposed to be Link, but in the story, even when you play through Ocarina, he talks. It's just you know for the level of immersion, you're saying the thing because people respond back to him all the time.
Yeah.
And in Twilight, not in Twilight Princess, in Breath of the Wild, they flat out said he was quiet. He was quiet around Zelda because Zelda was just at the beginning. Zelda couldn't stand him, and then they finally started talking after the whole Yiga incident. So you have stuff where he was talking to like Mifa. He talked to Daruk. He wouldn't talk to Rivali, but then again, I don't think too many people would. The way Rivali be acting, but he would talk to Urbosa and stuff like that. The only thing that I didn't like about Breath of the Wild was they kept out in the Japanese version. It was said that they had a journal for Link, and they didn't bring that to the American version. I don't know why they didn't do that.
That's weird.
Yeah, that was like weird. So if that's the case, I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird that you would keep that out. But yeah, I would have him talk because he's one of the primary characters. I would have him talk. I need to have him talk.
Yeah. And I just thought about this too. I don't think Nintendo would. I mean, I won't say they won't, but I think there's a strong chance that they just leave everything animated because I do feel like they're trying to set up some type of cinematic universe with all these characters. So I don't see them having Metroid and Link and all these characters. Excuse me, Metroid, the Metroid series, Zelda live action, and then having others anime and then others be the movie series.
Yeah, I just think doing it in an animation style is just cheaper because with like I said with Metroid, you're gonna have to if you do live action, you're gonna have to CG. You have to CG a lot of it, so it's gonna be a hybrid mix, and that gets expensive.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem, you could probably get away with it, but then you have to have the dragons in it, so that would get expensive. Ask HBO about that. You know, like the first run of Game of Thrones, that's why they couldn't put the dire wolves in every episode like they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because it got expensive to do. So it's not one of those situations where it's like, oh, we can do this if we want to. Not exactly, because it'll get expensive real quick and you'll run through your money. So I would think they would probably animate it, but I think like a couple of them could work live action, like Zelda being one of them. Fire Emblem, the other one could probably work live action. All right, what about this one? F-Zero.
I would say movie. I don't think it had an anime series back in the early 2000s. I remember watching it on Foxbox back when that was a thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs an entire anime series. There's not much you could really do with that for a couple episodes, maybe just like 1 or 2 seasons, but a movie with just focusing on the Grand Prix, like a race to the death or something, would be a pretty interesting movie to watch for that.
Okay. All right. So you know I got to ask you about Smash Brothers, Nintendo's, aka Nintendo's Toy Story.
Okay.
So how would you go about doing that? Would you straight up plagiarize Toy Story and just do it like that? Since that's technically what it is. Technically.
Well, if they were to do Smash Brothers, I feel like they would do it. Okay, let's see. Let me check to see what exactly the original roster first. I know it's like Pokemon, Mario.
It's Mario, Zelda, the Pokemon, Kirby,
Metroid, and Earthbound.
Yeah, Metroid, and yeah, because Melee is when they bring in like Fire Emblem and
Ice Climbers and
Captain Falcon, and
no, Falcon was in 64.
He was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was. It
was Ganondorf when they brought.
Yeah, Ganon. That's what I'm thinking about. He wasn't in the original, but they did bring him for Melee. So
yeah. That one would be a movie entirely. I wouldn't put that as a series, a live action, or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how many series they would represent in a first movie though, because I don't see them giving Earthbound an animation series. I don't see them giving that any type of love really. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So we talked Smash. All right. I know I'm missing something. Oh, Punch Out.
I think that's just some YouTube shorts that you do.
YouTube
I
short.
don't think you even waste an entire like too much money or time on Punch Out. But it
Okay,
could be like a really good like YouTube series or something you download on your Switch. Just give it like 5-10 minutes like they did Star Fox and Kid Icarus, and people will love it.
gotcha. So don't go. Oh, I know. Like, do it like they did the group thing on Disney Plus, where it's only like 6 or 7 5-minute episodes.
Yeah, like how they had these little Pikmin and Yoshi shorts for the Yarn
Yeah.
Yoshi and Pikmin. Just do something like that. Little Mac training and then doing something stupid during training, like tripping or whatever, and then his coach is yelling at him, and then he's getting in a fighting match or something like that. Just
So
little quips and quirks that they could do with that series.
you wouldn't go with the whole meme of Samus trying to take advantage of Lil Mac.
Ah, no, nothing like that.
That would be funny though, because the way I would do it would probably be like have it where he's having boxing matches, but like characters from Nintendo show up. Like one episode, Princess Peach and Mario will show up. One episode, Samus and Ridley will show up. You know, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Have them like out in the crowd or something like that. But yeah, it
They're
wouldn't
like
be like
boxing,
full
and
on.
then
It wouldn't
Ridley
be
and
full on. It would be like stupid stuff. It wouldn't be like serious.
yeah, like his reveal trailer. It would just be like again, like just a bunch of goofy shenanigans happening in his world while he's either fighting or training.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked that one. I know I'm missing something else. Well, okay, yeah, Trinell has the other one, Astral Chain. He says buddy cop movie.
Buddy Cop?
I mean,
Mm,
they have police in it.
they do. I would just, excuse me, I would just give that an anime series.
Just give it an anime series. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because let's see, they did do a Bayonetta movie. Bloody Fate was basically a retelling of like the first game, or a condensed telling of the first game. It's
I
not
forgot
bad.
that was
It's
even.
not
I
bad.
forgot that was even a thing. I know they did that in Devil May Cry, I believe.
Yeah, Devil May Cry they did a series for it. Devil May Cry was okay. I think I think it probably would have fared a little bit better if it was a movie like Bayonetta. Because it was only like 12. The Devil May Cry thing was only 12 or 13 episodes. When they did that one. The Bayonetta movie, Bloody Fate, it actually wasn't bad. Um, it's a condensed version of the first game, but it wasn't bad. So I would probably do a movie. The platinum stuff, I would probably do movies for. I
Platinum
probably,
Games?
yeah, the platinum games that's like Astral Chain, Bayonetta stuff. I would probably just do movies. If it were me doing it, I don't know if I would do full on series. Even though I think Astral Chain, you probably could pull that off better in the series. Just now that I think about it, because you would need to set up that world. So yeah, series probably for that one probably would be best.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, yeah, you're right. Bayonetta, you don't have to do that. It's pretty much straight to the point.
Yeah, no, Bayonetta doesn't need anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're there for certain reasons, and that's pretty much it. You know, you're just there to pretty much beat the brakes off of any and everything, and that's pretty much it. So
yeah, Wonderful 101. That's another one that I will put in the Punch Out category, because that game had like really good dialogue, but like it had its serious moments. But I would just rather have like a little series focusing on the cast and like them getting along and doing little missions and like arguing and banter and stuff like that back and forth with each other.
yeah, I think that works best in that for that series. Wonderful 101 is not one I would do. I wouldn't do a movie off that.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a TV series because it's just a Sentai,
Yeah,
just in video game form. But
yeah,
I think something just goofy and playful and fun would be really good for Wonderful 101.
yeah. That wouldn't be. I don't think that would be far from expectations anyway. So
Yeah.
what about okay, you know what? What about Switch Sports or something like that? Like how would you do that?
You could just do Switch Sports as like a generic shonen, not I won't say generic, but like as a regular shonen series, like a Prince of Tennis, a Slam Dunk, a Hajime no Ippo, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that would probably, and that way you could like get away with it. get away with putting the ridiculous comedy in it because you would
Yeah.
probably need to do that at some point. You probably would need to do the ridiculous comedy.
Mm-hmm. Or it could even just be like a Saturday morning anime, like a Beyblade type thing or something.
Okay. Well, I was
Just
thinking like that
something.
for like Splatoon.
You said what?
Splatoon. I was thinking like more Saturday morning cartoon was like for Splatoon or something.
Yeah, that works too. Digimon, Pokemon,
Yeah.
Beyblade. I could see something like Splatoon sitting right next to those and being perfectly fine.
Yeah, because I was in Barnes and Noble the other day and I saw the manga for it, and I'm like, dude, the manga for this is crazy.
Yeah,
It's funny, and it's like, okay, I can see this being they. The manga basically goes the Saturday morning route. It's
yeah. But
basically what it is.
the way Nintendo treats Splatoon, it's kind of like one of their marquee games right now. It's up there with Animal Crossing and Pokemon and Mario and Zelda and things of that such. So I think they would actually go for a full movie with Splatoon
Yeah,
if I'm looking at it from their perspective.
yeah, the business decision part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because it's way popular.
And like the
Even-
games do have like really good lore. I'm not like the lore expert on when it pertains to Splatoon, but I have listened to like a lot of videos on YouTube and the stuff that they talk about in that series. I'm like, okay, that's really interesting. I would like to see that actually on the forefront instead of being regulated to lore and background stuff and text. But
Well, I will say this: it is one of those games that are freaking dark as hell because it's post-apocalyptic in a messed up way.
yeah,
But it's lively and fun. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when that guy on YouTube broke down Andre 3000's Hey Ya. Like it's a fun catchy song with an upbeat, but if you actually take a look at it lyrically, it's a dark song.
oh yeah,
Yeah, when you actually take a look and listen to it and break down the lyrics, it's dark as I don't know what. I'm like, dude, I did, and I'm an Outcast fan, and I
hmm
never caught it, but because I was too busy,
dancing or something. I mean,
yeah, bobbing
the
to the
only
beat.
time I ever hear it is at like events or something, so I'm not really paying too much attention to the context of the song or what
Yeah,
it's based off.
so yeah, I've used Splatoon in that regard, just because
hmm
I'm like, yeah, that could, yeah, I just view it in that regard. Um,
No, but that's even like that's a lot of their games actually, because even Kirby, they deal with like gods and reincarnation and
yeah,
all types of stuff and
and
evil
Kirby's supposed to be a
deities and
baby.
yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, that's him as a baby. He's that powerful.
The
That happens when he's an adult. Nintendo's Majin Buu.
Majin Buu
Basically,
killer, as I was told.
yeah. All right. So Trinell talks about speaking of comedy, how would you guys do Wario Land or WarioWare series? Oh, that's interesting. How would you do Wario Land?
Um, I would do Wario Land or WarioWare or whatever, like Ed and Eddie or something. Just really comedic.
Oh,
Wario doing something stupid for whatever reason, trying to gain money, and then let that be the episode. Let that be the episode.
let it be like some get rich quick schemes or some stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's what Ed
Okay.
and
Yeah.
Eddie was like. They were on summer break, just trying to get money to buy jawbreakers and candy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see that. I can actually see that. I can actually see that.
Yeah, and the art style lends itself really well to that comedic tone, anyway. So
Yeah, because yeah, that art style is ridiculous. So yeah, that would have to be full on animated. I would not want to try to even attempt to see what Netflix would want to do with that live action.
yeah,
I'd be horrified. I would straight up be horrified. Like seriously horrified if they ever actually try to do that. Okay, so Mario Kart. Now, we were talking about this on the podcast
yeah.
a couple weeks ago, and like thinking back about it, I remember an old cartoon that my brother used to show me, the Wacky Races.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I could see if you did Mario Kart, you could do it like that.
Yeah, I could see that. Like even again, like YouTube Shorts or something, because Sega did the same thing for Team Sonic Racing, where they would have the teams of the Sonic characters racing for the end goal, and it was just little fun, little 5-minute things. But again, from the business standpoint, Mario Kart is one of Nintendo's. Actually, I think it's their biggest IP that they own. So I think they would really want to cash out on that series.
Yeah, because it's one of those situations where you're like, do we do a full series? Well, we got like 35 million sold, so
Yeah,
we
but
can
yeah,
probably
I think they would actually go with like a movie for Mario Kart.
mhm, and
Like
just make
Peach
it
is just sending out, or a higher being is just sending out invitations to all the people in the Mushroom Kingdom to compete in this tourney to receive some type of prize
and it
or
be a
whatever,
cake,
you know.
and it be a cake.
Yeah, yeah, a cake or like the most delicious cake you've ever tasted in your entire life will be the prize, and a kiss from Princess Peach or whatever. So
Something weird like that. Okay,
yeah,
I can see that. I can see that. So that's actually not bad. That's actually not bad. So what have you been playing lately?
I have been playing. Well, I recently beat Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Amazing game. I'm currently working on my script for that video. I want to have a whole nother video like I've done for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Xenoblade Chronicles X, where I'm just gushing about the games and talking about how much I love each and every last aspect of them, as well as a little critiques that I have here and there.
Okay,
Um,
all right.
I'm replaying Bayonetta 1, going to go through Bayonetta 2 just to get myself re-caught up with the series before Bayonetta 3 gets here by the end of the month. And I was playing Fatal Frame, Maiden of the Black Water for spooky season. Maybe that wasn't the best game to play after Xenoblade, a game that was all about hope. And then I'm playing this game, and then, one of the first things I see is a girl kill herself in the forest, cutting her throat. And I'm like, okay, maybe bring that back a little bit and get on something more positive. So
So you just decided to go full on depression. All right.
yeah, I was like, okay, this was a very beautiful story in Xenoblade, and then I go play that, and I'm like, okay, well, let me go
My
find
bad.
something else.
You're like, you know what? I think I chose wrong.
Yeah, so I'm either thinking of picking up Pac-Man repack, excuse me, Pac-Man World repack. I bought that, or
Okay.
diving into the Klonoa 1 and 2 remakes.
Okay, yeah, Klonoa's not bad. I actually
Yeah,
don't mind that.
I beat the entire series earlier this year, the PS1, PS2, and the Game Boy Advance games, and I had a really good time with it. So I would
oh,
be interested in playing those games again on the Switch.
oh, nice. All right. I haven't beat Xenoblade Chronicles 3 yet, just because I'm trying to go through and beat a certain couple of unique monsters who deserve me putting my foot up firmly between their behind cheeks. So, I got to get that giant what is it sleeping Rodrigo, the monkey in the
Yeah, yeah, Gonzo or whatever his name
yeah,
is.
I gotta get him because he pimp slapped me when I was level 21. And by the way, I wasn't the one that woke him up. So I don't know why he had to take me out.
You just be in combat and they just be getting mad, so they come
Yes.
chasing after you.
And then there's the level 75 guy that the first one you see, the one that's in all the games. It's him.
Okay, the one with the red
I
hair
gotta
and
fight
the
him. I just have to at this point. It's a matter of honor. So what are you looking at as your like your early, so because we're a couple of months away from the Game Awards. So what is your personal game of the year or games of the year? Because we had a lot of games this year, so to me it's hard to pick just one. So
yeah,
w- w- let me ask you this: what are your top three games that you would like to see as game of the year?
games that I would like to see, but most likely won't be up there.
Yeah, because we know good and well how Jeff Keighley runs his stuff. So
Yeah, we know it's a PlayStation showcase, but
yeah,
Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
good one.
That was a fantastic game. Like the Kirby series, as much as I love it, it's one of my all-time favorite. It got to a point where by the time when Star Allies came out, it was getting a little bit too stagnant. I was like, okay, I'm just going through the motions at this point. But when Forgotten Land came out, I think they made one of the best 3D platformers ever. I 100% at that game, and I rarely ever do that in the modern time. Every time I beat a game, I'm just kind of done, and then I move on to the next thing. But that game, in my opinion, is a masterpiece. So Kirby and the Forgotten Land will be my number one.
Okay.
Ooh, number two would be a toss-up between Pokemon Legends Arceus and Triangle Strategy. Both games, I think, are some of the best in by their respective creators. I think Game Freak made an amazing game with Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I think Square Enix made one of their best stories and combat systems in Triangle Strategy. And
Okay.
then number three would just be Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Again, that game, is amazing. I don't know if I would put it as my favorite Xenoblade game, but just judging it by the games that came out this year, I think what Monolith Soft did with that game was incredible.
Yeah, I'm with you on Xenoblade. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I'm going to be a little bit different
Okay.
because there's one game that it's not. It's essentially a indie, but it brought back nostalgia pops for me, and I know it's probably not going to
I
win.
think I know where this is going. Okay.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles.
Yep, I knew it.
Shredder's Revenge. I'm like, bruh, that game's too much fun, man. That game's way too much fun. I agree with you on Kirby. The thing about Kirby, I'm not the biggest Kirby fan, and ever since like the Epic Yarn stuff, I think like it kind of, like you said, it kind of got stagnant. But that game, like putting it in that 3D space, I think worked. I think it worked wonders for it. My third game, I like Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And I would love for that one to get some love, but I just, I'm gonna go with Xenoblade 3. Yeah, I'll go with Xenoblade 3.
What were you thinking of before that?
um, I played a little bit of it. I liked what it was doing. I haven't finished it yet. That's Elden Ring.
Okay, that's respectable.
Yeah, I heard I played a little bit because I want to see what the hype was.
Yeah.
Now I will say this: where I'm at right now is not better than Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for me, but it's very good in my opinion. It's
just from being a video game, like I don't think it excels in any other aspect as like the storytelling or anything like that, but just being a game, I think that is one of the best games that came out this year as well. I was supposed to review that game, but a whole thing happened, and I don't want to get into that. Made me mad.
Gotcha.
Okay, but let me ask you this: what do you think is likely to win at the Jeff Keighley showcase?
Elden Ring.
Think it's gonna be God of War?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be God of War. As much as I don't think it's now. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's fair by any stretch of the imagination. I just don't see the hype that game got earlier this year, and like how many people actually love it. I don't see it not winning.
Yeah.
And this may be a situation where coming out so late in the year might help God of War, but it might actually hurt it, in my opinion, a little bit, just because of how much people are still talking about Elden Ring.
Yeah. The impact of Elden Ring was crazy, though. Like, even people I know that didn't even really game like that or hated difficult games in the real life were telling me about Elden Ring. I was like, oh, okay, this game is going to be something.
Yeah. It was just one of those games where you knew it's gonna do what it's gonna do.
Yeah. And I didn't think it was gonna be that big though.
No, I didn't either. Because one, those Souls games, I've played harder games, but that's what people think that's the bar that people want to compare it to nowadays. So
I struggled more in Xenoblade 3 than I did Elden Ring, but go ahead.
So that's that. Depending on how God of War is, I don't know. Now, once again, this is a Jeff Keighley thing, so Jeff Keighley might make it where we know how he does.
Yeah,
he loves his Sony. He loves his Sony a lot.
And people will be like, "Man, he's not even on the pen." I'm like, "Come on, he's clearly got some type of pull when it pertains to this award show."
Yeah, yeah. That's how he got called out last time.
Yeah, I remember it was 2019. That was the year everybody was like upset, but on the Switch, we were eating like crazy. We had we had Mario Maker 2, we had Astral Chain, we had Fire Emblem Three Houses. We had, I think we had I think it was Yoshi at the beginning of the year. We had Luigi's Mansion. We had a whole
Yeah.
Link's Awakening. A whole bunch of games came out that year. But I remember it was a lot of the Nintendo games. Most of them got snubbed for games like Death Stranding, which we know Jeff Keighley was affiliated with, and then Control, a game that was broken at launch. So I understand where Jeff Keighley is coming with stuff like this. I understand that it's going to be more PlayStation, skewed in that regard.
Yeah. I, the thing that got him in trouble was Kojima being on the board. That's what got him in trouble. Because you can't have a person who has a game out on that board. That's just
conflict of interest.
That just screams it. And then he got mad and tried to go at people like, well, Death Stranding won the Paris games, yeah, but Kojima wasn't on the board. Like Kojima was actually on the board for your game awards. You can't do that and expect people to think that it's fair. You're nobody's gonna believe you, dude. Like nobody, and they didn't. So I'm like, bro, I don't know who you thought you were fooling, but nobody fell for it.
We see through it.
Yeah, nobody fell for that. So yeah, 2019 was a good year. I think this year, what do you think about this year? Because people be complaining, talking about, oh, I've heard people say it's a bad year for gaming. I'm like, for who?
Yeah, well, you know, when it pertains to gaming, for whatever reason, the gaming media and gamers tend to leave out Nintendo for whatever reason, even though they're the dominant, platform right now. Yeah. They couldn't keep Nintendo out their mouth during the Wii U, but now it's just, man, whatever, man. I don't care about no Nintendo, man. I'm a grown man. But now,
I mean,
but I think this is arguably the best year that the Switch has had. I can't even keep up with all the game releases.
I remember seeing a tweet that somebody's like, "This is a horrible year for gaming." I'm like, dude, everybody's eating good. What are you talking about? Like, if you can't find something to play, that's Nintendo, on you. That ain't on everybody else.
I won't say everybody's eating good, but Nintendo fans definitely are.
Well, I mean, most people, because there's something on every system. Like, there's multiple games on every system a month. Now, if I know there's a couple people that probably like, well, that ain't true. I'm like, yeah, but the path they chose, they wanted to go third party. I'm like, look, that's what they did, and guess what? The games are coming out now. If you don't, maybe you need to expand your horizons a little bit.
That's what I told them, and they got mad at me.
I'm like, because there's too many games in my opinion because of the pandemic, stuff got pushed back. Like we're seeing the same thing with like movies and TV. We got stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. It's too much to watch because of that. Because stuff was supposed to come out last year, they got pushed back because they were trying to make sure they made money.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I kind of understand a little bit what people are complaining about, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, like this is. Come on, man! Like I don't know what you want people to say.
The problem is a lot of these guys discredit any game that's not like a AAA Western game, so that they're kind of like their own worst enemy in that regards. Because this has been the year of like AA gaming, and if you're not into that, all you really got is Scorn and Gotham Knights, and which looks horrible. But you got Gotham Knights and things of that such, which were never really good. A lot of those games ended up disappointing people. Dying Light 2 and things of that such. So
yeah. So, well, let me ask you, like, Gotham, because I saw I was so on board when it first got announced back in 2020.
Was that when they showed somebody in the Batmobile in the rain and it was nighttime? And
yeah,
okay, it looked good then, and then after that, it was just downhill from there.
Yeah, and I think this is my problem with it. It was the fact that like it had so much promise, and then everything I heard after that was, okay, we couldn't do the 4-player co-op. We could only do 2. I'm like, well, why? I'm like, why could you only do 2? They never said why.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so you're not going to say why you could only do 2, but you said you couldn't do the 4-player co-op. I'm like, okay. it aren't those systems supposed to be ultra powerful? I mean, because that's what you tout every time it comes up. Like these are the most. This is the most powerful system. That is the most powerful system. You mean to tell me you can't get this one thing to
Pushing the
work?
limits and doing all this, that, and the third, and four
Yeah,
players is where
like
you're
you
struggling.
you can't get uh you can't get the split screen co-op to work. But I'm supposed to believe that this is like a super powerful console. I don't.
Is Gotham Knights next gen only?
Well, at first it wasn't. Apparently now it is.
Okay, because I'm on Amazon. I'm like, okay, I don't see a PS4, so there's no excuse for the reason why they can't do 4-player then.
Yeah. Well,
Even though I
you
don't
would
think there's an excuse for PS4 and Xbox either, but
yeah. Well, you would think, but I mean that's why I was like, I don't get what I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get where like how this is always the case. Like, okay, you keep throwing out your buzzwords, but when it comes to like gameplay stuff that this supposed to be that should not be a problem because you're so powerful. Oh, we can't do it. We had to hold the game back. We had to delay it because this didn't work, or we had to delay. I mean, Halo. You see what happened to Halo? I'm
oh
like,
yeah,
how in the world do you keep promising stuff that you can't deliver on? Did you not do the development first? Apparently, they didn't. So,
what was it that they canceled? Was it split screen co-op or
split screen co-op, they can't do it. So basically, you're telling me you can't do couch co-op.
something you were able to accomplish? What 20 years ago on the
Yep,
original Xbox?
and you can't do it on your most powerful system. I mean, make it make sense.
Yeah,
I don't understand it, but the supposed weaker system can do couch co-op like it ain't nothing.
they actually used to attack Nintendo for having couch co-op.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember those days. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
That was kind of. I'm like, dude, that's where I'm like, dude, everybody. I remember I got into an argument with somebody because he was saying none of his friends live near him. I'm like, dude, because you can't make friends, that's nobody's fault but your own. If you
yeah.
can't make friends where you are, I mean, I don't know I don't know what you want me to tell you.
And even then, like when we were kids, we had like brothers and sisters that were
Yeah,
still playing the game, so we were just able to do it that way. And
yeah, because that's another thing. I'm like, because I do have friends that have um PlayStation only or Xbox only, and like they be asking me like, "Hey man, what can I get?" Because I got kids now. I'm like, dude, you probably just want to get a Switch or something, because that has a better variety. I'm like, I, outside of some third party, some indie stuff, I don't really know what to tell you.
yeah,
I mean, just not trying to be rude or nothing, but I just don't really know what to tell you because outside of some indie stuff, I mean, you probably want to go with what Nintendo has because they have more of a variety for like what you know for everybody.
all their bases are pretty much loaded. They got their Premier Fighter, their Premier Racer, their sim game, their platformers, their action games, and they're all high quality as well.
Yeah, they're not like they don't suck. So
Yeah,
they work as intended. I'll put it like that. They work exactly as intended. You don't get the whole we don't know if this is going to work or not. No, it works like it's supposed to. I mean, it's just what it's gonna. That's just what it's gonna be. So, let's see. We're running close on an hour. So, last question I'm gonna ask you before we get out of here. I asked you about your game of the year. Will you be watching the Game Awards this year?
I don't know because near these the holiday time of year is when my job picks up like crazy, so I might not watch it. And then like the past year or two, I feel like Nintendo hasn't even been there. They've kind of distanced themselves away from Jeff Keighley showcases. Like even Summer Games Fest, was Nintendo there?
No, but then again, hardly nobody was there. But
Yeah. They weren't at Summer Games Fest, and they
No.
weren't at last year's Game Awards, I don't believe.
Well, they Bowser came on it, but they sent like a pre-recorded thing in. The only reason why I think they're going to be there now is because of the Mario movie. I think that's where we're going to get the full trailer.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think they're not going to put the trailer there, the full trailer there, because they're saying that 2 minute trailer was a teaser. I'm like, wait, what? That was a teaser. Like,
True, it wasn't the official trailer.
yeah, so I'm thinking that's probably what they're going to do if that's that's the plan. That might be the only thing they show. I mean, I would not be surprised if that's the only thing they show, because normally Nintendo does a direct in that first quarter of the year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll probably save like the Legend of Zelda stuff for that January, February, whenever they're going to do it direct, and not if they do anything, they'll probably do like if they do anything, it'll be for that. It'll be a trailer for that, if that. We usually watch it because we usually just do a live reaction and try to make as many jokes as we can.
Yeah.
So
what is Vin Diesel doing on the screen right now? Get off! You know?
Yeah, the whole arc thing when they I'm like, y'all gonna mess around. He gonna make this Fast and the Furious 11.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Nintendo's rocking with the Game Awards anymore.
Yeah,
I just don't. I mean, maybe they could showcase more Zelda. That probably has the strongest chance. I'm not sure about the Mario movie, but even then, if they are showcasing Mario, I don't want to sit through a 2 to 3 hour Jeff Keighley showcase just to see a 5-minute trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, he's doing it on a Thursday. I don't know why this man won't do it on a Friday.
Oh, if it's a Thursday, then I can definitely watch it.
Yeah, it's the December 8th, which is a Thursday at like I think it's 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, I think.
Yeah, I'll probably get in the Discord with a couple friends and just watch it and laugh.
Yeah, so that's what it's going to be this year. So, yeah, me and the crew is going to be doing our annual. We'll probably doing shots this year because of just see how long it'll take. But
yeah,
usually those shows are long as hell.
I know, for no reason too.
Yeah, like they're just long. So I'm hoping they cut down on the time. But this year, I think with the amount of games that are out, I don't see it being cut down on time. Anyway, he doesn't know how to like pace it. So
yeah,
that's another gripe I have with that show. But we'll see. We shall see.
Actually, I could see Nintendo showcasing either one of three things. I could see an update on Breath of the Wild, because they did showcase Breath of the Wild before it came out. At the Game Awards. They could do Mario Kart DLC boost for the booster course pass, or they could do what was the other one we just or the Mario movie.
The Mario movie,
yeah.
I just think it's probably going to be more than likely be the Mario movie, just because that'll be the thing that would hype them. I mean, last year they had Matrix, the Matrix Resurrection stuff. We ain't gonna talk about that movie, but. Yeah. They showed that the demo, and then they showed the trailer for the movie. So I think they're probably going to do that again, especially since they actually have a game that is a movie coming. A game character has a movie. I think they're probably going to do that there.
Yeah,
that would be the best thing to do, as opposed to what they did last time. But yeah, this is going to be interesting, man. This has been an interesting year as far as gaming is concerned. My financial portfolio, aka my checking account, has
suffered greatly.
Yeah, it suffered greatly. But I do like with the stuff that we got coming next year, like Octopath Traveler 2 and Breath of the Tears of the Kingdom. I'm actually looking forward to next year a little bit. Still got Bayonetta 3. I'm actually looking forward to Sonic Frontiers. I went on and I actually pre-ordered it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
What game did you say? What game did you just say? Saga Frontiers?
No, Sonic Frontiers.
Oh, Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw the they put out a trailer for detailing the gameplay,
the combat system.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. That looks interesting. Like that might be a lot of fun. So I went on and pre-ordered that one, so we'll see. I actually don't mind Sonic. I know they're hit and miss, but who knows? Maybe this is the one. This is the one that'll do it for him.
Yeah.
Open world Sonic does seem like it'll fix a lot of the problems that trying to do a 2D one was or two hybrid 2D 2.5D stuff with 3D elements would fix.
Yeah.
It's
It
cool.
looks like the character Sonic is actually fun to move around and play as again, but it's just
Yeah,
everything else that I'm kind of concerned about. But
which is valid.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
look, I'm the first one to tell people, look, your concerns are valid.
Yeah, yeah. And trust me, I'm probably like one of the biggest Sonic guys you'll ever meet. It's just
The track record, man. The
yeah.
track record the last 16 years has not been great.
And even with those, I'm kind of like still a defender of like Unleashed and Lost World and Generations and
I love
things
Lost
of that
World.
set. Yeah, Colors, those are all great in my opinion. It was just Forces is kind of where they burnt me.
Yeah. I love Colors, loved Lost World. Lost World I thought was a lot of fun. I hated Sonic 06.
Yeah, that was
I,
my first Xbox 360 game
I'm
too.
like, nope, this is a lie. This is not Sonic. This is a lie. I I love the adventure games. I didn't mind Sonic Heroes. Could not stand Shadow the Hedgehog. I thought that was just I don't know. I don't know why they decided to go the route they went, but I'm like, that's not what I would have done with
Yeah.
it.
But
But
even by like today's standards, I would say Shadow is still okay. Like you put that game against a lot of the newer stuff that came out, I think it stands up over those.
yeah, I would say that because it's look, it's better than Sonic 06. All right,
Oh, for sure.
yeah, it's way better than Sonic 06. So I can understand that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I liked what I saw in that trailer that they put out. So we shall see on that one. Bayonetta, I love Bayonetta. I love Cereza. She's awesome. So I'm looking forward to jumping into this one. Um, in what we got 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks.
Mario Rabbids is next week, right? Or
I think it's next week. I think Mario Rabbids is next week.
yeah, because it's Mario Rabbids and then Bayonetta the week after, and then I
Yeah,
think a week or two after that is Persona 5, followed by Sonic. So I'm
yeah,
gonna be busy.
yeah. That's why I was like, I'm like something has to. I can't get everything. So Rabbids is the one that I'm going to hold off on because I know Ubisoft's going to throw some kind of ridiculous sale on, and I'll be able to grab it then.
Yeah.
But I will say this: if Mario Rabbids, I need another Mario diss track.
Oh, from the
Yeah,
okay.
I need another Mario diss track. So I just need another one. That Mario diss track was hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. The
I would love to have
Conquerors.
another one. So all right, people, we're gonna call it a night. Thank you everybody in the chat for joining us. We do appreciate it. Thank you, Blandrew, for showing up tonight for the Let's Talk Live. I really appreciate it.
No
Anything you want to
problem.
pimp out?
You said what?
Anything you want to pimp out?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. So please remember we got the Winging It podcast Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, don't forget to check out me and Vicky from Fangirl Reviews Fresh Take. We'll be talking the She-Hulk season finale and possibly give our thoughts on Rings of Power, depending on if I watch it. If I watch the season finale of Rings of Power. So check that out Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, don't forget to come check us out. Blandrew, have you started your podcast yet?
No, that'll be starting either at the end of this year or at the beginning of next year. The IO Nintendo podcast.
Okay, yeah. So as soon as he drops that, I will be leaving a link, and we will be making sure we get your information so we can get it out to everybody. So
yeah, we're gonna have a lot of guests from the community come on as well. I got RGT scheduled. I'm gonna try and get Spawn Wave. I got Player Essence, Lady Pelvic. Working with a lot of people right now. So if you're interested, Stealth 4K from Twitter. If you're interested, definitely check it out when it goes live.
Nice. And I will make sure that everybody on this side knows as well. So
appreciate it.
As soon as it goes out, trust me, people, we will know, and I will make sure that you guys know so we can show some love and show some support. Okay. Other than that, we will see you guys later, and peace out, peeps.
Have a good one, everybody.